Welcome on, my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Anyo, your Demon Cinephile, and we are going to talk about the fifth and final Planet of the Apes movie of the original series, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. And I'm not really sure how to feel about this one. Alright, so this movie takes place about 13 to 15 years in the future after conquest of the Planet of the Apes. But also kind of takes place 30 years after, because there's an ape that says he's been doing this job Caesar gave him like for 30 years. So, weird inconsistencies, but like the film had like 3 writers or something like that. So hey, you're gonna have some weird consistencies. The nuclear apocalypse happened. Why did the nuclear apocalypse happen? Well, it just happened. It just happened. That's all the explanation we're given. It just happened. But yeah, most of humanity is dead or either mutated, and all of the survivors are living out in Ape City, where Caesar has all the intelligent apes living together in this weird little jungle space, which is supposed to be outside of New York, but the last movie wasn't New York, so once again, weird inconsistencies, but let's keep going with it. Like, remember in Escape where Cornelius said it took like several generations for the apes to evolve into speaking and intelligent creatures like humans? Well, that is gone. Now the apes are fully intelligent speaking creatures. I mean, yes, Caesar does have a son in this movie, so who is actually named Cornelius, so like, that's nice, that's sweet. But besides him, he's the only other ape that should, besides Caesar, that should talk. But all the other apes in the movie are talking, they're smart, they're intelligent. But like, why? Like, only Caesar and his son should be this smart. But no, they're just like the apes from the first 3 films. They're no different from them, which, alright, okay. It makes zero absolute sense whatsoever. But yeah, here we go. In the beginning of the movie, we meet one of the new characters, General Aldo, who is one of the main villains of the film, and he is one of the worst characters in this franchise so far that I have seen. I'm safe to say General Aldo is probably the worst character in this franchise. He is a bland version of General Ursus from Beneath, and all the worst qualities of Kobo from the reboot trilogy, because he just pops out in the beginning of the movie, which is a pretty cool opening. He could come down on horseback, but he's just a complete species. Like, he just hates humans for no reason. But it's a cartoony racism, which maybe could have worked if, I don't know, maybe it wasn't for the gorilla makeup, or maybe if it wasn't just for how cartoony he is, like when they go to the speech class, or it's like, repeat the law, like write down the law. Ape shall never kill ape. He's like, shall ape ever kill man? Because the teacher teaching the class is a human, and he's completely hostile to Caesar, and he's a general too. Which, like, when did Caesar become stupid? Why would Caesar make this moron a general? When I was looking at a couple of things before recording the video, and apparently Aldo is supposed to be one of the gorillas that we saw in Conquest, where he was being electronically conditioned in the city. So maybe that explains why he's like so hostile to humans. But like I said, that's why he's like a worse version of Kobo. Like, he is Kobo, but without all the subtlety, without all the grace, without all the rage and pain. He's just cartoony racist, and it doesn't fully work. But speaking of racist, this is very funny though. So when they get to the schoolroom, and Aldo is being a petty little bitch because he can write. And this is how stupid it is, because yeah, nuclear war happened, but I guess Caesar was so he is also so racist against human technology, besides guns. He's like, okay, so we are not going to use human pinship. We are going to write on papyrus and on rock. We're gonna write with this. Screw pen and paper. But yeah, they're writing on this, and Aldo, because he can't write, and he sees Cornelius can write so good, he starts ripping Cornelius's paper up, and teacher's like, "No, Aldo, no!" And Aldo, he gets so triggered. His eyes goes bulging. It's hilarious. Then we get to introduce this new character, Virgil, who is played by Paul Williams. And he explains that because of all the mistreatment by humans in the past, because of all the forced conditioning by humans, that the apes are always feared and electronically conditioned to not answer the word no, that Caesar has forbid the word no, so that a ape can always say no to a human, but a human can never say no to an ape. So basically, the teacher said the N-word to the ape or something. It is so, like, it's actually kind of well acted, like how scared the teacher is, because the gorillas are about to lynch this man for saying no to Aldo. It's actually pretty terrifying. I actually like the scene. When Caesar comes, he actually hears it, and he forbids, like, okay, it's fine, it's whatever. Just go fix up your mess and get along with the day. And when this happens, Aldo's like, he pulls a knife on Caesar, or no, just later in the film, but he tries to run Caesar down with his horse, and Caesar just lets it go. Like, what happened to the bloodthirsty Caesar? What happened to the monstrous Caesar from the last movie? I mean, yeah, that was a retcon because of that extra shot, the extra footage at the very, very end of the movie. But still, what happened to the Caesar that grew a little bit of a backbone? It was like, he's not gonna take being pushed over when it really counts. Yeah, why aren't you just, demoting him right away? I don't understand that part. We got another character in the film, MacDonald, but it's not the same MacDonald from the last movie. It's his brother, because the actor couldn't come back to shoot the film, so they simply recasting him, and they just replaced the character with a brother, which I guess is fine, but when you realize that this isn't the same character, and he doesn't have the same emotional connection to Caesar as the one from previous film, it's not as strong. It doesn't have the same connection. The character is fine. I do like his dynamic with Caesar. But what is the actual plot of the film? Well, after having a conversation with MacDonald, Caesar is kind of like Aldo, where Caesar is, he's not as bad as the humans from the last movie. Like, he hasn't made the humans slave to the apes. They are not equal to the apes. The humans in the ape society are basically second-class citizens. They have to do whatever the apes say. The apes can easily take away their privileges at any moment. But besides that, they're more or less neighbors to an extent. Caesar's like, well, because we have to build up trust to you. The moment we have enough trust built up between us, then we can become equals. And McDonald's like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So we get this thing where McDonald says, alright, well, how about I tell you or show you images of your mother and father. Okay, wait, what? So, you're telling me for like the 20 years or how long it was supposed to be, when Armando was raising Caesar in the circus, he never once showed him any images or photos or videos of Cornelius and Zira. He showed them nothing. He didn't tell him anything about them. But this doesn't seem like anything like Armando. I mean, Armando, how he was characterized in those two movies, was sweet and caring and loving and romantic. Like, It didn't seem like he would keep eating that from Caesar or Milo or wherever the heck this character's name is supposed to be. So this all seems very weird and strange. But after discussing this with McDonald and Virgil, they go to this interesting character who, what's his name again? He is Mandemus, the gunsmith, the armor, the guy who keeps the armory. Which actually a very fun scene where they answer all these weird questions from him. These weird moral questions, which I really do like. And they get all the guns from him. They travel to the city, and alright, they get to the city, and when they reach the footage, and it's this weird corrupt clip show of Zira speaking to Eric Banner's character. You know, when he was recording audio of her. So when he didn't have a natural camera, and it's like a still image, and the audio is all crunched up. It's not like they're cutting away from the scene to another scene and you're expecting it to continue on. No, the audio is just skipping through like it was edited for them to watch it. And the same thing too, like when Cornelius is giving his history lesson of how apes rose to power, and as again it's cut down significantly, and where the part he even cuts out the original ape who spoke name was Aldo was also cut out. And it's like, wait, why is this cut up? Why does it look so bad? Why does it look so stupid? Why is this a heck? I'm not sure. Maybe it's some contract thing. Maybe it was a script thing. Maybe it was feature length thing. I don't know. I understand why it was like that. I mean, you didn't even linger on Caesar's face. I mean, all the makeup on Rowdy Medall's face, he can still act so well through it. Like, why don't just linger on his face while the footage is just playing so we can just see his reaction? That'd been just fantastic itself, with him hearing the voices of his parents. But while they're in the city, we get to learn about the mutants. The mutants, people! The mutants are here! The mutants from beneath the planet of the apes. Well, not those mutants. These are the proto-mutants. These are the mutants who will eventually evolve and mutate over the thousands of years into those mutants from that film. But no, these are these mutants, the proto-mutants, and they are led by Governor Culp. Culp is a kind of like a minor character in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I didn't really mention him. I mean, he was one of the cooler characters. He was a fun villain, and here he's just allowed to be dumb, crazy, evil, which is fun, which is cool. And eventually the apes escape, and then Cornelius wants to prepare for war with the humans. Well, the humans, because he thinks the humans are mad and crazy because they're mutants, and they hate him just because they're apes. While the humans are mostly Culp, that want to go to war with the apes just because they're crazy, violent animals and they want their resources. So basically is violence and misunderstanding. And we got this kind of interesting scene with Lisa, Caesar's wife, where she kind of brings us up about the misunderstandings, that maybe if they could just talk and explain to each other, that maybe things could work out. And we also get this with one of Culp's henchmen, where he says that maybe the apes aren't bad. If he could speak to one of them, that something could happen. Would you think this will actually come together, that maybe Lisa and this soldier could actually work out the misunderstandings or something like that? But no, it goes nowhere. Because that would actually be kind of interesting. But no. Then the film takes a little bit of a darker path than expected. When when Caesar's son Cornelius goes to chase his squirrel out through the trees, he stumbles upon the gathering of guerrillas by General Aldo, who's saying that he's going to take all the guns. He's going to take all the guns, and he's going to corral all the humans, because this is this man's fetish. He wants to corral all the humans. He talks about nothing but corralling all the humans, like it turns him on. And he's going to kill Caesar. And then they see Caesar's son in the trees. Aldo's like, alright, can't have this. Gets into the tree, cuts the branch down. Cornelius falls and hits his head. They tried to treat Cornelius, but they can't really do anything for him. They say that even they had a hospital, I'm not sure they could do anything. But Caesar, he's not going to give up after watching the tapes of his mother and father and knowing how they came from the future and knowing how they changed the future by just coming from the future. And I'm not sure if I said those symptoms right. That he knows that the future's not set in stone, that he can change some. The boy dies. The boy just freaking dies, and it's very unexpected. We're not allowed to sit on it, and Caesar doesn't get a chance to focus on it because the moment Cornelius dies, he has to attend to the corral of humans. I guess to a small sense that, yeah, this kind of shows how hectic the scene is supposed to be, how hectic the timing is. But no, he sees all the humans in the corral, all those forcing his hammer or his sword and gun, and then the mutants attack. And we get this very underwhelming firefight. I mean, there's some pretty neat pyrotechnics in it, but it leaves a lot to be desired. Like, it's not a lot. It's no. First two movies had some very interesting, had some blood and gore to it. This is just very tame. Like, you don't really, you see a couple apes and humans die, but you don't really feel the impact. Hope has his little one-on-one with Caesar, which would have been more interesting if it was the governor from the last movie, which was supposed to be him, but he also could not come back. It's okay with Colt because the actor makes it work, but Caesar doesn't really know Colt. He didn't really have that much interaction with him in the last movie. Caesar pulls a surprise on them. The apes win, and they pull back. They fight the mutants away. They capture some of them. Aldo pulls a backstab and kills the ones that retreat, which, alright, he does something useful, so yay for Aldo. But no, when Aldo comes back, he wants to keep the power. He's like, no, all the humans have to remain in the corral. It turns me on. And then Virgil finally brings up, like, no, ape shall never kill ape, especially an ape child. And Caesar has this one really cool line where he's like, you murder my son. You murdered my son. And they keep repeating, ape shall not kill ape. 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 It's actually really cool and creepy. Even all the other gorillas turn on Aldo. Caesar chases them up into the tree, which is very an underwhelming chase. Aldo falls, he dies. McDonald says, when will we finally be free, Caesar? Caesar's like, really? Virgil's like, well, Aldo wasn't human, but he was evil. And Caesar's like, you know what, Virgil, you make a fine point. And he's like, alright, humans are now free and equal as apes. He doesn't say that, but it's basically what he does. And it's very underwhelming. Kind of see like that's supposed to be Caesar's arc in the movie, that he was supposed to become less prejudiced, that he was supposed to see that apes and humans aren't that so different, that apes can be just as evil as humans and humans can be just as good as apes. But you don't really, but it's never enforced. Like, he doesn't learn that, he's just told that. But I do like the beginning and the ending of the movie, because in the beginning of the movie we get to a distant future, not the 3950 or whatever that's supposed to be in the first movie. We actually finally get to see the lawgiver, and the lawgiver is played by John Hudson, and it's actually really, really cool how the lawgiver is portrayed. I love the makeup on him. I love the voice he's given, because we always got to saw the lawmaker in the first two movies, his statue, and you're like, oh, so who is this mysterious lawmaker? What was he like? We get to see what he was like. We get to see what he was really like before all the religious propaganda change his his words, his images. He's telling the story about Caesar, and at the very end of the film, when he comes back to him, we see that he is teaching a class of not just ape children, but human children. And you get to see that this was Caesar's intent all along, that he wanted a society where humans and apes could live together before apes like Dr. Zaius contaminated it all. The closing shot of the film, we have a close-up of the statue of Caesar, and we see the statue of Caesar is crying, and we're not exactly sure why he's crying. Is he crying because did Caesar actually change the future? Did he finally create a future where apes and humans can live side by side? Or is it going to eventually lead to the events of the first movie, where apes are going to be ruling over the humans as dumb, as oppressive monsters, and that humans are just going to de-evolve into dumb animals? I don't know. That's a really cool ending. But what makes this movie bad is, well, like I said, one, its characters like Aldo. Aldo is just a very dumb, stupid character, horrible racist character, but he's the cartoony racist and it doesn't work. And it makes even more bad that it's not just Aldo, but all the gorillas in the movie are like this, which is kind of bad. It'd be different if it was some of the chimpanzees, but no, it's just all the gorillas. Like, no, apes are good people, except for those dirty gorillas. No, not. Then you get to the mutants, which are just, why are the mutants here? I don't understand it. I mean, they're not that badly put into the movie. They can work to an extent. It's just, when Culp is just a complete idiotic character. He's fun, cartoony villain, but we don't really need a cartoony villain. We need someone smart. We need someone compelling. We need someone who's going to make smart decisions. I mean, let's look back to the first two movies. Dr. Xerus, even General Urias. I really pronounce his name. They were smart, compelling characters. Even that general from the second movie, even he felt kind of intelligent. Like, none of those characters were just mindless, one-note simple characters. They felt they had layers. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm recording this at 4 a.m. I'm tired as heck. They had layers to them. None of these characters have any real layers to them. And they're not shown properly. It makes no sense for all the apes in the movie to be this smart and intelligent, to be speaking proper, strong English. Maybe the apes are speaking sign language? Maybe I could be slightly more believable. No, like, they are just as smart, just as intelligent as the apes from the first three movies, which should not be. The movie almost had this little side plot about racism and classism within ape society with the human characters, but the human characters are very shown, right? Like, besides McDonald and the nurse or house help, Julie, there's barely any human characters in Ape City. Like, they're just like background characters. They're just like human helpers. They're just doing whatever they do. And much as I love the idea of trying to connect all the timelines and to make everything kind of like fit with try to make everything fit within something kind of like some kind of proper time stream with all the films. Adding the nuclear war was just kind of lazy and stupid. It didn't really need to happen. Just have the apes exist in their own little communion in the forest. Have them live in their own little regular houses. Have them have TVs. Have them working on regular pieces of paper. I mean, I don't know, the jungle setting, while interesting, I don't know, it's kind of played out. I don't know. It didn't gel in this film. Because this movie just felt very, very low budget compared to all the others. And not just the look of the film, the camera, the makeup. not actually the makeup, but just something about the film. It just felt like made for TV, I guess you could say. I guess the last thing I have to say that's wrong with the film is the music and the tone. The music in this film is not as very compelling as the last films. I don't. It's been a while since I watched the other movies while talking about this one, so not exactly don't really remember much about the music. The music in this one was just like very iffy, like nothing stood out, nothing was impressive. It was just like bland all the way through. But yeah, Battle for the Planet of the Apes is definitely the lowest film in this franchise so far. For the final film of the original 5, it is a nice little send-off, I guess you could say, if you have to watch all 5. I don't think you'll hate yourself for watching it. It still has Ronnie McDowell as Caesar, which is, once again, fantastic casting. He steals every scene he's in. I love him. I love him. I love this character. I think all of the casting in the film is really great, except for Aldo. Freak Aldo. Fuck Aldo. I don't like Aldo. Yeah, besides the casting, the film isn't very entertaining to watch. It has no real entertainment value besides that. Everyone pulls their A game, but like I said, the action and music basically non-existent. It didn't stuck in my head for me to remember for this recording. I say watch it at least once when going through all these films. And if you like it, watch it again. But if you don't like it, skip it when you're rewatching the franchise. But yeah, that was the 5th and final Planet of the Apes film. Now, time to step in for the reboot trip. Tim Burton's movie. So, gotta go, guys. See you all later. And blah blah. See cups. Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. You're still here? You're actually still here at the end of the video? Oh, I'm surprised. Thank you for staying for the whole thing. If you have a few more seconds of your time, if I could, can you scroll down to that description and hit that little button that takes you over to my Twitch? I stream there almost every day. We play horror games, action games, and visual novels. So, if you don't mind, if you like what I do here, if you can stand my annoying voice here, follow me on Twitch and we can hang out some more. Alright, hope to see you over there. Have a good day.